been using a fucking Black Knight shield. This is so bad. I didn't realize this fucking strength requirement. Okay, I'm gonna assume the Hornet Ring's gonna help me. We could test that, actually. 6 versus... Whoa! Oh, yeah, we're wearing the Hornet Ring, man. This is a bad start. But okay. Oh my god. No, what did I get myself into? Oh my god. Oh my god, this is terrible. I can't believe this. What have I done? Oh my god. Oh my god. What have I gotten my stupid ass into? Kind of wishing that I upgraded the stability, because I can only take that one hit through my shield. A second hit staggers, it guard breaks me. So if I upgraded it, maybe I'd be able to take 2 and still recover it if I fucked something horrible up. Actually, you know what? I'm sorry, I know I'm doing... but I have 20 Estus right now, okay? I lost a lot of HP in the beginning because of that ring swap, and an extra humanity will just help my resistances a tiny, tiny, tiny bit. Okay. Alright. Is there anything else I can do to increase my damage? Okay, well, here's some options. Do I have any divine blessings? No. Wow, okay. Here we go! Oh man, we're gonna be here for a while. Oh, don't speak just yet, Saiyan. I just started. I don't truly know what I'm getting myself into. Oh my god. Ugh. Hey, can anybody tell me how many Estus did Lobos have left when he did this? Because that'll tell me a lot about what I'm up against. Because there's a serious contrast between what he did and what I'm doing. Still getting used to my buzzed hair. Because, I mean, I usually keep it like this, but recently I've been letting it grow out, and now I'm kind of getting used to it. Feels pretty nice, actually. $700 reposts? Can I get an extra hit in, I wonder? As he's getting up. Could somebody look it up? I mean, we have all fucking day. You're gonna look that up, come back, and like there's gonna be he's gonna be like twice as far down as he is right now. Then I am fucked. Then I'm fucked. If he had 3 Estus left, I'm screwed. Because I'm taking 3 times as much damage through my shield as he was. Holy shit, I am fucked. And I can't upgrade this down the fire path because it's a twinkling weapon. Oh my god, this is some horseshit. Yeah, I am fucked if he had 3 Estus left. Well, wait a minute. I mean, look at the damage. Well, then again, Gwyn's been being very, very, very nice to me. And, I don't know. I don't know, let's wait for a bit before I assume. Can't I dodge the first hit? No, how would I dodge the first hit? I would dodge the first hit and then what? Parry the second hit? That might be possible, but it's not going to be possible to do. If I roll to dodge the first hit, then I'm going to get hit by his first hit if he two-hands the weapon. That's why people fight Gwyn this way. I did get the Black Knife Shield, but I can't use it, and I have no way of getting the number of souls I need to get the strength to use it. No reasonable, realistic way, anyway. You guys better enjoy this song. You know, yeah, at least this song's kick-ass. Oh my god. Oh my god. Yeah, I like the song too. Let's see if I say the same thing at the end, though. At least it's mellow as hell. One-13th of the way there, guys. Oh my god. Well, this is a damn good start. Reminds you of a Final Fantasy game. Oh, the music. If I equip both the shield and the Sanctus and switch between the two when Gwyn is recovering. That's interesting. Not really. It probably wouldn't really work. Oh, it doesn't matter anyway. I can't get the Sanctus. It is an interesting idea. Oh, whoops. Let's save theory testing for later. If I had the Sanctus on me, I would consider trying it, but yeah, right now I just gotta, cause I just lost. I just took like 3 times as much damage there as I've taken in the entire battle so far. So yeah, I'm just gonna not do that. We're not gonna test any theory unless it's with equipment that I have on me. Oh boy. This is gonna get exhausting. There's only so long I'm gonna be able to do this before I start fucking shit up. So what was Lobos wearing when he did this? Full Havels, I take it? Or no, he probably did what my other thing was going to be, which was full gold hand except for the gloves, which maximizes fire resistance. Alright, Tag. If someone does a speedrun and beats the game before you... Yeah, you should definitely be able to, let's say I got it on the first try. You should definitely be able to, beat the game several times, if you're a decent speedrunner. IGT, before I would be able to beat Gwyn like this. Oh, he was wearing stone armor? Oh, why was he wearing stone armor? Oh shit, does stone armor have like way better fire resistance? Am I screwing myself here? Does anybody know the fire resistance on the stone armor in comparison to Havel's and the gold hem? Or no, just the gold hem, because I know what Havel's looks like. No, I know what the gold... Yeah, I know what both of them look like, actually. But I don't know what stone armor looks like. I never use it. Right, I know that, but I don't know the fire resistance on it. I don't know every single stat on every single piece of armor. Do you know what it is? I know exactly what it is, where it is, and what it's used for, but I don't know its fire resistance. I think it looks pretty bad. I mean, I guess it kind of looks good in its own right, but it doesn't. Its equipment doesn't really stack much with anything else, fashion souls wise. Whereas if you look at like Havel stuff, some of Havel stuff works like with other things. The headpiece doesn't really work with anything, and the chest piece tends to overpower everything else in terms of cosmetics. But the leggings can look pretty fucking sweet in certain builds, and the gloves look really awesome because it adds this really awesome bulk without looking awkward. It doesn't look like stone like everything else. It looks like big-ass gloves with like a bunch of chains wrapped around them. It looks awesome. If anybody while you're sitting here would like to look up, like tell me, I don't know, tell me, oh no, I fucked up. Shit. I fucked up. Woo! 12 less total fire resistance. Why the fuck did Lobos use this? Why did he use the stone set? Less fire resistance than what I'm wearing right now? Huh. I wonder why I used the stone set. Yeah, it's pretty weird. That seems very unlikely, Fiery. Well, maybe. Because as I get further and further along here, it's becoming very clear that he didn't get reduced to 3 Estus because he was taking damage through the shield. And that was just whittling him down. That's just absolutely not a thing that happened. He made mistakes. And if you make mistakes, yeah, you're absolutely getting hit by both fire and physical. Maybe it had a nice blend. Because I've used 1 Estus, but that's because I made 2 mistakes. And he is, like, if you look at the Estus to his health ratio, he's absolutely... If I made no mistakes ever, like, I could take him out with probably, like, 5 Estus. If I were just perfect the entire time. What do you guys want to talk about? Hello, nigga the dolphin. You know, it occurs to me that the stone set may have given him a disadvantage. But then again, I don't know. I'm pretty early into the battle. I could find out that the mental fatigue just gets really overwhelming, and I just start making crazy mistakes left and right. But it seems like he may have given himself a disadvantage with the stone armor, because I'm sure he was fat rolling. Gwyn likes to leap back and do all sorts of stuff. Dealing with his grab attack is really not that big of an issue when you're fat rolling. But when he leaps back and stuff like that, I'm often getting an advantage if I react quickly and properly to closing the distance and being in a situation where I can compensate for whatever attack that he does, so that I can just absorb the first attack and then parry the next, no matter what it is, for the most part. So far. Like I said, I could just lose focus like halfway into this fight, just fry out and immediately start blowing through Estus because I can't focus. Because this is kind of a lot. Oh, something else he was probably going for with the stone armor. I've compensated with movement and stuff when I've screwed up and like got my fucking health just ruined. But it was like really close, and it really depended on me being able to move quickly. And to be honest, there was a bit of RNG in being able to do it as well as I have, because sometimes your distance can just be too far. In that case, you want poise, which he has poise, and I do not. Tiny advantage. What ending do I like the most? I tend to choose the ending where you walk away for the sake of ceremony. But, I don't know. I guess I kind of like the burning ending, lore-wise. But honestly, they're both fine. I mean, if you mean, like, as a player, like, which ending would I have liked when I first started the game, my answer probably would have been, what the fuck difference does it make? But that's kind of what I like about the endings. The ending isn't really important, because it all leads to the same conclusion. You're merely delaying the inevitable if you link the flame, and if you don't, then, well, you're just accepting the inevitable, except you're kind of walking away like a king or some shit. I don't know. I don't really know. This will take a fucking retarded amount of time, Fiery Wyvern. Well, we have time to talk, so why do you like linking the fire? No, I wouldn't say it's a weird way of looking at things. It's, in fact, what you're doing. You are literally delaying the inevitable. Somebody else linked the flame before you. You know what happened to that guy? He got punched in the nuts 800 times by me right now. You're just putting the fucking, you're just doing the same shit. And sure, somebody else will probably delay it. Somebody else will probably delay the inevitable. And somebody else, and somebody else, and somebody else. If we have, I think, I can't, okay, you know what, I'm not going to bring Dark Souls 2 lore into it, because I don't understand Dark Souls 2 lore that much. But it would seem reasonable that people would keep linking the flame. You like the lore behind linking the flame. Yeah, I guess that's kind of what I said. So I feel you there. Which is, it's like, you did a thing, you sacrificed yourself, and for what? Like, what did you actually accomplish? About as much as this guy. What about the serpents? What, the man serpents? Associated with Sen's Fortress and the like? Would be betraying many of the people you met along the way, like Guinevere. Ironically, you did not meet Guinevere. She was an illusion. And you could say that it's you being betraying, like, sure, but the thing is, you're being misguided. You're being manipulated. You're being manipulated by the illusion of Guinevere. you're being manipulated by Kingseeker Frampt and Darkstalker Kath. And the only person who is genuinely trying to help you from the very beginning is the Crestfallen Merchant. I'm sorry, the Crestfallen Warrior. He, out of sympathy, just gives you some advice. Others will help you, but not for the same goal. He's the only one who gives you your advice about what you're supposed to be doing, who isn't just straight up lying to your fucking face. And it's pretty cool. And what happens when you link the flame exactly? For all we know, Firelink Shrine gets fucking leveled or something. Which would kill the only guy who actually legitimately was like, oh, let me try and help you out here. So, there's like this objective and this is what you're supposed to do. Everyone else is like lying to you. She's a victim alongside you. Victim of the bullshit of Dark Souls. He's somebody whose salt turned to butthurt, and butthurt turned to hollow. Dom Hall of Xena. He's pretty cool. He's clearly like, unless he got the equipment through like devious means, he's clearly like as skilled as you. Actually, he's definitely as skilled as you. He is definitely as skilled as you. Because he even takes out Gwyn. Yeah, I guess that's true, John. I was gonna say, not necessarily, but that's only if you don't talk to him. The game's expecting you to talk to him, so yeah, he done gone hollow. I almost didn't react to that grab correctly. I can already see my focus is slipping here. Your favorite NPC is Hawkeye Goff. He's pretty cool. Yeah, he's hella cool. My favorite NPC in the game is, what's his face? Oh, no. Whoa. Laurentius. Wow, I gotta keep my focus there. He kicked me because I put my shield up too early. It may look like I'm just throwing my shield up and blocking all the time. But if you hold your shield up too early, he'll kick you. Sometimes he'll go for a grab. So I can only put my shield up the instant that he's gonna hit me with that fast attack. The slow attack, you see me do it just because I'm expecting the fast attack all the time, just in case. Yeah, he does have a pretty cool life, I guess. He has, he's blind, but it's pretty clear he's old. He has, like, awesome memories of, like, he was, like, a knight, and he was, like, killing dragons and shit, and he was, like, really good at his job, and he really admires people who do what he does, and he has great memories. What? Artorias is an NPC. Artorias is 100% an NPC. He's not a merchant, and he doesn't have dialogue, but he's an NPC. Anything that could be vaguely described as a form of life is an NPC. A character that is not playable. A non-playable character. Theoretically, you could almost say that the Iron Golem, if anything, is not an NPC. But not really. He is a living entity made out of a dragon's the soul from a dragon's bone, apparently. You kill my wife every time. Yeah, it's sad. Well, if Priscilla is my waifu, then Laurentius most certainly is my husbando. Whoa. Okay. Yeah, that's another scary thing that he can do every once in a while. He can just not follow up on his fast combo. Which, if he does that, and then he, goes for a fast attack again, I'm dead. He'll hit, or at the very least, I'm gonna get hit once, minimum one time. Like I said. Whoa, that was a good reaction. Holy shit! It was bad that I put my shield up. I was a little bit panicked. And then he fucking... he goes for the kick, and I see it, and I'm like, oh fuck. And I fucking roll it? That's awesome. I feel so cool right now. Because that could have went bad. Gwyn's blind? Shit. Okay, I'm not gonna try and get a close-up on his eyes. I see the red. I didn't know he was blind. Okay, yeah, I need to take it easy. Like, I just blew through a ridiculous amount of Estus in just a few hits. It's gonna be bad enough when I start really losing focus here. Hello, little. Okay, seriously, Dolphin, don't start with little, really. Just don't. FBI, definitely in the chat. Oh no! Whoa! Oh my god! He pulled the biggest RNG dick move ever there. As I'm trying to get my e-cig out, he does a fucking thing, and then he does another thing that I mess up, and then he decides to go for a fucking swipe and not follow through with the attack, so that I can't follow up, so that I can't block his upcoming attack, and then I fucking handled it. But holy shit, what a dick move. Oh my god. I buzzed it down. Oh no! I can't keep making mistakes like that. Holy shit. Damn it. Ugh. No Vanquisher shield. Well, that's because I'm way too bad at the game to do the Champions Covenant. Way too bad at the game. Hey, Fire. I'll see you later. Wow, that was scary. I gotta be careful. I'm consuming Estus at a higher rate now. My focus is fucked. I'm consuming Estus at a way higher rate. If I consume Estus at the rate that I have for the past third worth of his health, maybe quarter worth of his health, whoa, then I'm gonna run out of Estus before I take him down. I am using the Hornet's Ring. Without the Hornet Ring, instead of doing 7 damage total each riposte, I do 1. So it's like very, very, very necessary. I've been trying to see if I can get an extra hit in. It just doesn't seem like a thing. I'll play around with that sort of a thing when I'm literally like at full health, which is about to be the case because I'm about to use 1 Estus. Can I do this with no parries? No. Not me. And I don't think anybody, actually. I highly doubt there's anybody with the skill on the planet to do this. With bare fists, and without, I don't know, some sort of a cheese. Yeah, I have to punch way too close to the time that he would be able to hit me with a swift attack. Oh no. Oh no. I borked my roll. Okay, we're gonna take it easy now. You wish Gwyn was a lot harder. Do this! Honestly, his easiness is why this is even possible, so yeah. They should have made him not parryable or something. Or they could have made him not repostable. I don't know, anything, damn it. I didn't have, wow. I didn't have the endurance. Yeah, at least Gwyn is not Nashandra indeed. What is the hardest boss to fight? In my opinion, ONS. I definitely wouldn't say Four Kings. Four Kings would qualify on my list as one of the easiest bosses. Capra Demon actually 100% deserves some mention. Yeah. I still wouldn't say Four Kings for New Game Plus. This punch strat would be a lot more viable if I had the Black Knight shield. Damn it. If I had some more stability. That's the thing. Thanks for storing my punch! Oh my god, they stored my punch, so when I went to block, it punched. That is fucking horrifying. I, like, never, ever fucking want to do that, hit this guy with a punch ever again. Oh my god, that is some scary fucking shit. Jesus. Okay, you know what? We're gonna stick with this for a while, because now we're consuming too much Estus. We're about on par with our Estus, and we really need to not be on par, because my technique is gonna get really bad later on. Once I start getting tired. if you're fighting all 4 kings at once. If you're fighting all 4 kings at once, you're doing something wrong. Even then, you can work with it, but you're doing something wrong if you're fighting all 4 kings at once. Or you're doing a challenge run where that's just an inevitability. If you have DPS, 4 kings are a piece of cake. Whether you tank it or you don't tank it, it's going to be a piece of cake. Because they're both 2 extreme strategies for the 4 kings, and they work really, really, really well. How could they have improved Gwyn's fight? I'll say Gwyn's fight is pretty epic for, like, the first few playthroughs, but it's... to increase its quality as a boss would be very difficult. You would have to probably just scrap Gwyn, change the way he fights entirely. Or change the way he fights, like, to a very, very significant degree. So, like, make it so that you can't parry him. Or... like, make it so you can't parry him, but make it so it's more feasible to fight him without parrying and without abusing the surroundings. Or make it so that you do abuse the surroundings, but in a very different way. Like, in an intended way. Not in a, oh, here's, like, a fucking stalagmite that that we're cheesing Gwyn with. Like, like a real surroundings thing. Add more forms like ONS. Having multiple forms would probably be a pretty good idea. Having multiple forms is something that Lords of the Fallen turned me on to a lot. Lords of the Fallen, all the bosses have, well, almost all the bosses have multiple phases. Like, the first phase is basically them teaching you how the boss works at the most basic level. Not that when you first encounter it, it's the easiest thing in the world to avoid, but it's reasonable. And as each phase goes on, it either adds stuff or changes the environment or changes the AI, the aggression, in a way that makes it so that the fight is different. And with most of the bosses, you have to worry about everything that you worried about in the previous phase, but now with something new. So just when you're getting the hang of a boss, the game throws a curveball at you, and it could have like 3 different phases, like 3 different curveballs. And the implications of some of these phases could completely change the way that you were going about the fight. Suddenly, something that worked great in phase 1, even though they're changing 1 variable, it means that you can't do what you were doing at all. And I love that. Probably one of my favorite bosses in a Souls-like, I guess I could say, is that one in the graveyard? I can't remember its name. Well, it's got multiple phases, and it introduces stuff, like, in pretty fucking crazy ways. By the end, like, you look like a fucking pro, because the game sort of brought you up. Like, at first, he's just a generic guy. He's like a Dark Souls 2 boss in the beginning. He's just a big guy with a big weapon, and he's swinging it, and you dodge the swings, and you hit him when you can. And then, like, then they introduce the idea, oh, he has, like, an AoE attack that means that you can't just sit next to him and, like, do dumb shit like that. Okay, so you need to be a little more evasive. And then it's like he has, like, this ability where he summons enemies into the arena. And they're not very strong, but it makes it so that you can't just do what you were doing in the previous phases. It's fucking crazy. Not that multiple phases are needed, per se. It's just, it was pretty cool. Because the fights almost always started as something significantly simpler, than something that you would see in a Souls game. And then by the end, there was something significantly more complex than anything you would see in a Souls game. If he calls in Black Knights, I don't see how Black Knights could be made in some sort of a reasonable way. Maybe if he called in Black Knights, but they weren't normal Black Knights, like they were like shadowy phantoms of Black Knights, and when you hit him a single time with anything, like, say, it's similar to, like, with Pinwheel, if you hit him, like, one time with anything, then they break. So you need to, like, be super fucking careful. He'll, like, maybe he'll just summon, like, one. And then, like, later on he summons, like, 2 or even 3. So then at one point or another you're going to reach a point where, sure, you're wrecking Gwyn, but he's, every once in a while, when he reaches a certain point, he's going to summon these knights, and you know that that's going to, you're going to have to be diving around a lot, you're going to have to do a lot of evasion. Whether or not they should be able to use shields, I don't know, because it seems like the shields could break that. Because then they're not dying in one hit. Oh my god, I was so into Demon Souls. I fucking loved it. It was great. I guess that's what kind of got me let down about Dark Souls 2. Is I had a standard in my mind. Like, when I played Dark Souls and then I went to Demon Souls, I was sort of giving it, like, every chance. In the back of my mind, I said, okay, this is gonna suck. This is gonna be a bad game, but I'm gonna give it a fucking shot. Jumped in, boom, fucking great. A million problems, and a lot of problems that Dark Souls 1 fixed, but it was still such a good game. I was just so into it. Then Dark Souls 2, I was like, okay, I'm gonna give it the same sort of a chance as Demon Souls, but I've got in the back of my mind, how can I not, that Dark Souls was amazing, and Demon Souls was amazing. So then Dark Souls 2 came along, and I'm like, okay, this is a big guy with a sword. That's cool. Okay, 20 seconds to load into Majula, and I have to load into Majula every time I want to level, and it takes about 20 seconds on average to load out. Okay, 40 seconds every time I want to level, that's okay. But hey, you know, that's whatever. Okay, okay, their blacksmithing system is all sorts of fucked up. Okay, and so is their infusion system. Interesting. Okay, so, hey, how about some of the classic weapons, since most of these weapons seem to be very samey? How about the Great Scythe? Oh, okay, they broke it. Sure, okay. How about, hey, the Halberd? Oh, it's fine, it's really ugly. Okay, cool. Let me go to this other boss. Oh, that's a big guy with a weapon. That is a big guy with a weapon. Oh, here's a big guy with a weapon. This is another big guy with a big weapon. And then I was like, okay. And I was kind of like, this game sucks dick, doesn't it? It was a feeling that was looming over me as I was playing it in the beginning. And it just really, like, it really kind of fucking slammed against me, and I wasn't really sure how to cope with it. I tried to deal with it, and then I started noticing that other people were saying the same thing, like, yeah, this isn't a very good Souls game. It's not the worst thing ever, and I'm like, yeah, it's not the worst thing ever. It's just pretty bad. Will Bloodborne be great again? I have no idea. It's like Lords of the Fallen-ing their own game. It's clearly going for something so different. Ironically, it seems to be going in the opposite direction than Lords of the Fallen. Lords of the Fallen was trying to be slow, it was trying to emphasize heavy armor as not the only, but a significantly important choice that you can make. Things were supposed to be more slow and methodical, and each encounter with each and every little tiny enemy was like a thing, like a serious thing. Bloodborne seems to be going for something more arcade-like, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's going faster. It needs you to be quicker. It wants you to run headfirst into situations and then be good enough to walk out of them. And that's pretty cool. But what can I say? I've never played Bloodborne. I've just seen very limited amounts of footage. I'm sure there's way more footage out now that I just haven't seen, because I haven't really kept up with it. Dark Souls 2 is not really that bad. It's just that bad for me because of what I do. Because of just what I do. What I do as a streamer. What I do in a Souls game as a player even when I'm not streaming. I do challenge runs. And the game's just not built for that. They don't want you to remake your character like fucking 50 times going through it in a different way each time. They're expecting that if you want to do something like that, shit. What are you doing? Get off of this thing! Jesus. They're expecting that if you want to change your playstyle up, then you're gonna use a soul vessel. And that's true, that's how it's supposed to be used. It's just, I can't do a challenge run like that. It's non-standardized. It's arbitrary. I can't just say, okay, I did new game with a bow only, so now I'm gonna respec and I'm gonna do sorcery only. And then after that, I'll respec and I'll do... Like, that's not something I can do. So I have to start a new game every time. But then they're gonna, like, hide tiny bits of content here and there. I just can't access them. Just, nope, you need to be in New Game Plus 4 or some shit for this. It's like, are you serious, bro? And yeah, you can Bonfire Aesthetic, but Bonfire Aesthetics can't do everything. Which is kind of my main fucking problem. Bonfire Aesthetics is like... Oh my god. It's upsetting. Bonfire Aesthetics could have solved the New Game Plus problem like 60% for me. And instead, it solves it like 30% for me. Co-op? I didn't have a problem with the co-op. But then again, I didn't really co-op. I co-opted, like... I never summoned for a boss. But I placed my sign a few times just to see, you know, what's the co-op experience like. It's fun! I like it. I mean, I have fun with Dark Souls 1 co-op. It's just, it's ridiculously casual. And it's not permitted in most challenge runs. Dark Souls 2 kind of felt the same. The PvP in 2. I don't have anywhere near as much enough experience with PvP in Dark Souls 1 or 2. I'm PvE. I'm raw PvE. I have a lot more in Dark Souls 1. Like, I'm better at it naturally. It's a game that I play more. But, you know, my Dark Souls 2 experience with PvP was basically, like, maybe 12.5 invasions. Okay, probably a lot more. Let's say, like, 50 invasions in total. Most of them in the Draken Covenant. And I fucking was getting my ass handed to me constantly, but I was having so much fun. I mean, it just felt really fun. It wasn't a game about backstab fishing or poising through shit, which probably one of my biggest criticisms is that poise in PvP is basically... It's a very side thing. Where Dark Souls 1 focused too much on it, Dark Souls 2 was like a cowardly version of Demon Souls when it came to how it addressed boys. Like, it's there, but it's not really important. You're not going to look at somebody's armor and then try to think very carefully about what the implications are for poise. Dark Souls 1, you will. It's just usually that the implications are all one way or the other. Either they have no poise or they have tons of poise. But still, I had a lot of fun in Dark Souls 2 because there was, well, for one, probably the most important one, is I could actually PvP, which I can now that they fixed the whole Games for Windows Live thing. But it was really refreshing to be able to just PvP whenever I wanted. Online play, whenever I damn well pleased. It was awesome. But also because it wasn't about the old backstab fishing bullshit. It was cool. I liked it. Now, on the flip side, it seems like, because I've watched people do a lot of PvP, it seems like Dark Souls 2 has a little bit of a problem of maybe underemphasizing parrying and riposting, and a little bit maybe backstabbing. Not as much as parrying and riposting now. It seems like parry riposte, in most situations, is borderline just something to taunt your opponent with. Ha, I parried you, because that's typically not a practical thing to do. Dark Souls 1 parrying was, like, ridiculous. It was a very, very... It was all over the place, but it was also a little too much. Just a bit. I would say that Dark Souls 2 has a better handle on the backstab problem, and Dark Souls 1 has a better handle on the parry riposte problem. Yeah, well, it more or less should have been, nigga. At least in a relative sense, like, relative to everything else on the fucking gaming market. I mean, relative to everything else in the gaming market, I think that, I don't know if it really deserves Game of the Year, but I think that it definitely deserves to be a candidate for Game of the Year. A candidate that lost by a significant shot, but had a pretty okay-ish chance. And that is definitely listed in some of the top. But it has the unfortunate situation of having to be compared to the previous games. Kind of like Portal 2, and how it was more negatively received by typical Portal fans than Portal 1. Because it's an exhausted concept, so they're, you know, the standards are, like, really high. It's like, oh, well, now they have to do something as awesome as Portal 1. They were never going to do anything as awesome as Portal 1. Dark Souls 2 kind of had a problem like that, but to a more extreme extent. They had a way higher bar that they needed to meet, and they failed it way, way, way worse than the Portal situation. Not that Portal 2 was a failure. I fucking loved Portal 2. I bet you if Dark Souls 2 was released before Dark Souls 1 or Demon Souls, or maybe more accurately I should say, let's say it was released at the time that it was released, but Dark Souls... Let's say Dark Souls 2 was released in place of Dark Souls 1. I bet you we would be talking about how fucking amazing Dark Souls 2 is. And like how, like, it's like revolutionized the gaming landscape, and holy shit, we need people to pick up on this and game developers to run with it, and... Because it's not the fucking worst game ever. I fucking hate it, but it's not actually the worst game ever. Oh my god, I love the layout in 1, and I love the enemy placement. The enemy placement was so thoughtful. They were just constantly trying to teach you things. And Dark Souls 2 had its moments. And its layout was not, like, completely fucking mindless. Dark Souls 2's layout is not mindless. It just it was like it was from the mind of somebody who understood what Dark Souls was, but just was not quite good enough to capture what Dark Souls 1 was about. They just weren't good enough. Like, they were like an average dude who gave it their best and it just didn't work out because it's a difficult thing to do. But I still hate it. Dark Souls 2 will just take a whole bunch of enemies and throw them into an area sometimes, and that's just really unsophisticated. Dark Souls 1, even the simplest enemies, they have like a whole tutorial system going on. Like, every single enemy that's placed in the level, I can almost tell you what was going through their head. Why they put that exact enemy there. Why it's wielding that. Why is it at this point in the game? And like the way they went about the tutorial was pretty cool too. Dark Souls 2 acknowledged the fact that the game was... Dark Souls 1's tutorial was really novel, and it was great. But it wasn't skippable, which I guess isn't really that big of a problem. The smaller problem is that it's not thorough enough. And Dark Souls 2's tutorial, as far as I'm concerned, all three games are not anywhere near as thorough as they need to be. But, okay, I need to get him off of this incline. This is really bad. But where Dark Souls 1 would just not tell you something, and just you would have to look it up on a wiki or find it out by like crazy freak accident, Dark Souls 2 will try to explain some of it to you. Still, Dark Souls 1 had a better idea of what it was doing, like, in a atmosphere way. It was way more atmospheric. Dark Souls 2 tutorial may as well have a fucking sign hanging over it that says, "You are now entering the tutorial," and a sign out of it that says, "You are now leaving the tutorial." It really breaks it up, this sort of immersion that I was feeling. Especially with that awesome intro, the awesome intro. It's like, they don't even let you select the fucking character class. You're a dude. You have a basic intro, and then holy shit. Oh my god, I'm at this thing. Okay, there's grass around me. Oh, there's this epic crack in the distance. That's what she said. I go across, holy shit, there's dogs. You panic, you run, or you fight. Whatever you do something, and you end up in a hut with some old ladies telling you some crazy cryptic shit. And then you select your character, you make them, and then all that immersion is shat on by the time that tutorial comes and slams you in the face. And it's like, damn it. Dark Souls 1? Dark Souls 1 had a pretty cool thing going on. It was like, okay, here's an enemy that you could test something out on, and another, and another. Okay, there you go. Then you walk into a fucking door, and a boss! First actual enemy you see is a fucking boss, and it's towering over you. And you're like, holy shit, what do I do? So, like, you try and fight him probably, and then eventually you discover that there's iron bars that are going to go down behind you behind this door that you can run through. So now, you're scared shitless, and you realize that shit can kill you, and you can't do shit. You feel helpless. It's like, oh shit, now what? You find another bonfire, you're like, oh, I know what this does, because they taught me what it did by putting a bonfire before the boss, and then that boss killed me, and I didn't see the door yet. So there we go. So boom, instantly, we know how bonfires work, and boom, we know how fucking brutal the game can be to an unprepared player. Okay, so now you see another message in the ground, and you see another dude, but now he's got a bow and arrow, and he's in the distance, and it says, get your shield. And then you see the twinkling thing, and you're like, that's my shield, isn't it? So you run out, screaming like a little girl, you grab the shield, and you duck into the side, which they give you so that you can, and they give you all the time in the world to learn the equipment menu. So now there's hints in there, and it's like, hey, this is how you equip your shield. Whoa. So you got the shield equipped, and so you're running down this hallway with this guy. All of a sudden, his bow and arrow ain't tough shit. Haha! Suddenly, you got an advantage here. Ha! You feel smart. And you're like, oh, okay. So I figure if this twinkling thing was my shield, then that twinkling thing in the distance must be something else. Maybe my weapon. So you go and you run and you grab it. Suddenly, boom! You got a weapon. You kill a dude. Ha 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 ha! I'm a badass. I have a weapon. They slam you with a fucking boulder coming down the stairs. Just a little humbling act. It had no chance of killing you. Just to make you realize that Dark Souls is your bitch. I mean, that you are Dark Souls bitch. And now you're hurt. So you're hurt, and you can't progress any further, even if you kill this dude that's up at the top of the stairs. So you run around for a little bit and you find, oh, look, there's this guy here. He gives you something called an Estus flask. And you're like, huh, okay. So then there's messages on the ground that show you how to use it. So you use it, and it's like, oh, cool, that heals me. Hey, Azkika. So now you go around the corner, back up the stairs, and now you're faced off with two of these guys. So now the game is emphasizing, hey, this is how you use your shield effectively. Also, they throw in your catalyst or your bow, if you so have one. Or talisman. They're emphasizing, hey, there's a bunch of guys here. One of them has a bow. Two of them have weapons. You have to use your shield to progress, and you can't run past them. So that's cool. So you kill them. So you see a fog gate, and maybe you go through it, maybe you don't. You come up to a room that's on the opposite side of the fog gate, and it teaches you parrying, a skill that's not 100% required. It's kind of an optional skill, but it's ridiculously good to know, and the game should tell you that it's there. So that's cool. Whether you see it or not, you're probably going to find out parrying eventually. And whether you see it or not, you're probably not going to successfully fucking parry that guy, like, on the first few hits. But anyway, now you go through the boss gate, and right before the boss gate, they teach you about the plunging attack. What a cool way to do it. So now, they teach you this plunging attack. You just learned this plunging attack. You walk through a fog gate, you have your weapon, you have your shield, you've overcome things, and you're like, oh! Oh, it's this asshole! So you do a plunging attack on him, and you feel so cool. And then you go through the basics of learning how to fight a boss. Trying to learn the moveset, keeping in mind things in your environment, keeping your shield up and yet managing your stamina, getting your attacks in but not getting greedy. You walk out of the asylum knowing pretty much everything that you need to know. And Dark Souls 2, for the most part, does the same thing. Maybe even slightly better. They teach you jumping. God damn it, Dark Souls, what the fuck? Come on, Dark Souls 1, you didn't teach me jumping. Dark Souls 2 sure as shit teaches you jumping. But it broke immersion to do it. It threw a sign on top of everything that said tutorial, and I just don't think that it needed to. Like, just going through the Undead Asylum your first time feels like an adventure, and it's pretty cool. I like it. In Dark Souls 2, it's not an adventure. Not only does it not feel like an adventure, it's pretty clear it's not even supposed to feel like an adventure. It's supposed to feel like a tutorial, because that's what it is. I feel like we could have had a tutorial that was as effective as Dark Souls 2's tutorial, but as novel as Dark Souls 1's. And, like, yeah, like, giving the player the ability to run past the so-called tutorial is, I guess that's not a bad idea, but it's not necessary. I've never been in the asylum like, oh my god, I can't believe I have to do the fucking asylum. It's not like I was ever pissed because I couldn't skip what is clearly the game's tutorial. Can you kill the asylum demon when you first see it? Absolutely. Absolutely you can. If you bring black fire bombs, it's downright easy. And if you kill the asylum demon the first time you see it, they reward you with the demon great hammer. Interesting fact. If you're good enough, you can beat him with the sword hilt. But technically, if you want to take him down like that, the best thing that you should do is use your fist. Not the sword hilt that they give you, because the sword hilt is worse than your fist. It's slower, it consumes more stamina, and it does the same damage. First time you played Dark Souls 1, you went on a Black Knight set with Black Knight sword and Grass Crest shield. You can't get that at the beginning. What do you mean? You could get the Black Knight sword in the beginning. Technically, it's a rare drop, but you could get it. The Grass Crest shield you could get, but the Black Knight set you cannot get. The Black Knight set is in the Kiln of the First Flame. Yeah, this fight's been a lot easier than I thought. I mean, I was just making mistakes left and right, and I clearly did this, like, really, really, really easily. It's not over yet, though. Yeah, exactly, Pot. It ain't actually over, guys. Like, I still need to fight him for like more time than probably all of you put together's longest time with Gwyn has like ever been if you used parrying. I mean, we're still gonna be here for a while, folks. We are still going to be here for quite some time. Crossbow plus dagger only? Like crossbow in one hand, dagger in the other, or you're allowed to use crossbows and daggers. How long have I been fighting Gwyn? How long has this been going on, guys? Both of them at the same time. So yes, one in one hand, one at the other. Okay. What do you mean? Because that could also mean one in, like you could have like a shield in your left hand and a dagger in your right that you can swap out for a crossbow in your right. About an hour? Doing this for an hour, huh? Make an NPC surrender because you are too pro. I'm casual. Spare me. Dark Souls 2 dual Avalons look pretty cool. I've never had the luxury of using them myself. In fact, I don't even think I've used a single Avalon. No swaps, no weapons. Ooh, so you're gonna have to take out Gwyn without parrying. Good luck. That ain't gonna be easy. Are you allowed to put the dagger in your left hand and then the crossbow in the right for that fight? Or do you have to just like straight up... Or do you have to just straight up have them in the same hands the entire time? Actually, now that I think about it, it might not be too bad to have a dagger in your left hand anyway. I mean, you're going to have significantly lower damage output in general, but... I mean, with a dagger in your right hand, you still can't parry, so... The only thing that you're getting is an R2 you're losing an R2 attack by swapping into the left hand. And more importantly, you're losing the speed of your R1 attack. Oh, actually, probably most importantly, you're losing your ability to two-hand. But it might not be that horrible of an idea. How much HP does Gwyn have? I don't know. No parry. No bullshit. Okay, go for it. You shouldn't have that much trouble with the game in general, but yeah, Gwyn is... I hope you have some experience with taking him out without parrying. Because it's like totally doable, it's just... It's a completely different way of fighting him, and it makes him really, really difficult. Come on, Gwyn, don't be a dick. What are you doing? Must we fight next to this thing? Oh my god, Gwyn plus... Dun dun dun! Dun dun! You know, this song is so long and pretty, it managed to... I'm like not sick of this song. I'm not in the that glorious phase in the very beginning where it's like, oh man, this song is awesome and I get to listen to it for a lot longer than usual. But I'm not sick of this song. I'm not like fucking sick of this song. Could you not be a dick? Thanks. Actually, it should take a handful less parries, because experimenting a bit with the ability to... Uh-oh! His health went yellow! I was experimenting with the ability to... Like, a few times I punched and then went for a parry riposte. And I don't know, maybe I did that like 6 times total, so it probably spared me like another like 1 parry. Actually, that divided by 6 is wrong, it's 7. No, my riposte does 7 damage. 1, 7. 1 plus 6 is 7. There you go. Gwyn with a fist. First try hype. I thought that was going to be way more difficult. Especially considering I couldn't use the Black Knight shield. Because I'm a fucking idiot and I didn't realize the strength requirement on the Black Knight shield. And in honor of Gwyn... Okay, so let's I guess I should show you guys what I got going on here. So 45 vitality, I'm wearing full gold hem set. I'm wearing the Ring of Favor and Protection. I'm using the Hornet Ring, which turns the damage from 1 to 6 instead, which is pretty awesome. The Dragon Crest Shield, because I wasn't able to use the Black Knight Shield, because oops. And I did all bosses with like a dagger, so I didn't have any points left over. There was no way I was gonna get the souls to bring this up. Fucking 6 points. Anyway, Black Knight Shield, full gold hemmed. I had these here just in case, but I didn't use them. So anyway, in honor of Gwyn, our worthy adversary, let's light ourselves on fire.